Welcome to part 10 of the Sonic Adventure 2 battle playthrough. 33 minutes till Doomsday!
Hooray.
Apocalypse get.
I would seriously tell Tails to get out of that mech if I were Eggman. Seriously, why did he let Tails stay in the mech?
Because he's handicapped?
Because he's handicapped.
Why do you think
It
he's
took
always
you-
flying?
Guys,
Nothing. Again, I'm going to question the redundancy of that gun. Even though you mentioned earlier about the gun, like his mech being pointed at Tails and that gun being pointed with a very large scope, mind you, being
Well, you
pointed
see,
at Amy.
turning that mech around to point at anything in time is an awkward thing. He just wants to point a gun at Amy, who
Those
is
shoes need
next
to
to
come
him.
back. I love those shoes.
I don't really like him.
I just like the overall design of them. Anyway,
The one time in the 3D games where Eggman is a true genius. Fox boy.
I wouldn't actually call that a true genius moment.
Well, he
It's
figured
kind
out
of a-
through the plan pretty quickly there.
I do give him props for going to the trouble to find out what was what in this control room here, because I would not have thought to look for a hidden space pod that ejects into space for no good. Why is this pod even here? It's like when they designed this place, were they thinking, you know what? Here's a hidden escape pod that no one will know is there unless they know it's there.
that blows up.
The
I'm
only
sure-
thing it's ever used.
I'm sure
The only thing it's ever used for is to surprise people and eject them against their will from the space station. Maria does it to Shadow. Eggman does it to Sonic. What the fuck? What's the deal?
But there were no life ratings on it, so there's no reason to chase after it, right? Star Wars
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
Of course.
I want to know why Eggman is pointing the handgun at Tails' mech.
I really
That would
don't
be-
know.
That would be very ineffective against a giant wall
That-
like that.
Okay, that is where Johnny's point wins. That is redundant.
Loading.
Now,
And
saving.
then the gun just vanishes for the boss fight.
Yeah.
He immediately tosses it out.
Okay.
You never
the-
see it again either.
You really liked my gun. It's Nerf.
It's a Sega light zapper that I used to hold someone hostage for 10 hours. He's
When exactly does
Really?
he trick with the Uber laser?
I believe
Really
he
hate
had 1/4
this
health
laser.
and he was firing his lasers.
Shoot the wood.
I hate that meme.
I hate the laser and I hate the exploding thing in the middle.
Yeah, the exploding thing in the middle is what really kills the boss fight because you can't just, run. dead
You have
center to the
no
room.
idea how many times I've accidentally blown myself to hell with that thing.
And I barely avoid the laser here.
Is
think
there
Eggman would have
any
the sense to
way?
turn a 180?
Is there any way to cancel your lock on if you accidentally lock onto that thing? Because I've not figured out how to do that.
I don't think so. Basically, what you have to do is just don't ever go near the center. Don't even risk it.
Well, it's not going near the center. That's the problem. It's accidentally pointing your gun in that direction at the wrong moment.
And Knuckles apparently trained under DBZ laws because he can now sense ki.
And power levels.
Yes,
Same thing.
and he's got weighted gloves, and a weighted necklace, and weighted sunglasses. And god damn it, why isn't his back broken yet?
I like
I
how
would
Sonic's actually tired from using the chaos control from using it for the first time because this actually makes sense why he's tired. Unlike every other
Yeah.
point in every future game where he just uses it randomly and he's perfectly fine afterwards.
Yeah.
Not to go off not to go too off on a tangent here, but how awkward it is for Knuckles that he doesn't have fingers.
I'm sure he's got
Huh?
fingers under the gloves.
Well,
But
he's
why
got
wear
finger-
mittens?
I don't know. Maybe he's cold.
Well, they're obviously supposed to look like boxing gloves, but they just look retarded.
Use that logic here.
No, I believe there's like one clip in Sonic X where if you pause it at the right time, they actually gave Knuckles fingers.
Serious?
Yeah.
Animation mistakes for the win.
Oh, there are tons of those all over the place. Like in the
No.
Teen Titans cartoons, there are lots of places where Cyborg has human arms.
Yeah. Now I will say this: Knuckles has been my favorite character since he debuted, and you missed a really big shortcut there. But
Yeah, I know.
the thing about Knuckles is, yeah, you see right down there, you can just drop down there and skip this whole long area. But the thing about Knuckles is, although he was my favorite character for the longest time since Sonic 3, I have always thought his boxing gloves were retarded.
You mean like overall design, or?
I just thought they looked retarded. And this is I'm talking as a very young grade schooler who could barely play video games, let alone critique them. I thought the gloves looked retarded, and this is a kid who was into Power Rangers that we are talking about here.
Oh, and all the rubber monsters and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
I never found a
I
problem
thought it
with
looked
the-
retarded is sad. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I never found a problem with the gloves until he went 3D, when they made them look huge and look like they're padded with fluffy stuff inside just to make them really big looking.
Yeah.
Well, they always did look huge. It's just that everything got deproportioned. So yeah, I guess you're right. I'd never really noticed though.
It's just that up from the 2D games until Adventure 1 and 2, they kind of just ballooned in size, and then they kind of made them look like flat mittens for the time being.
Well, actually, I don't think they've gotten bigger so much as the body has gotten smaller, because the adventure design, everyone was chubbier back in the day. The adventure designs for all the characters have thinned them out, so every other part of their body looks bigger by comparison.
Not long Sonic.
No, well, not long Sonic. That was to the extreme. I'm talking Sonic Adventure 1's design and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty chunky. You're thinking of Sonic 06, right?
No, I was thinking of Sonic 06. He's talking about the change from the original Sonic design for the Genesis games, where he kind of looks like Mickey Mouse in a way, to Adventure 1, where he got a lot skinnier.
Yeah, and I will say this: I do prefer the new designs over the old ones. If only because they look like more effort was put into them, more art design effort. The original design looked cool to me, but looking back, they look really well. I guess you could say this. I guess you could say the same for all the old cartoon characters, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, those kind of things that evolved over the years. Their original designs look really simplistic, and the newer designs look like, well,
Mickey himself hasn't really changed with the years.
Well, it helps that they haven't done anything with him for about 15 years or so. But
well, yeah. But you can definitely tell the difference between like the original Bugs Bunny and the current Bugs Bunny, can't you?
Yeah, I see where you're going there.
Yeah, it's more or less the same deal. Although I will say this: the design for the American cartoons, Adventures, and Saturday AM looked retarded.
Yeah, the Saturday AM wasn't that bad. It just made him look like he had a mohawk instead of quills.
What is the purpose?
Yeah,
of
that's well, that is one thing that they did actually get right in Underground, is that they gave him 3 sets of quills, but that's just about the only thing they got right in that series.
And we skipped the entire level from talking, but I get an A rank anyway. Because I am Epic Win. We'll see you in part 11.